Judy, you know how every week I do a cold open where I try to do something to get us just a nice little laugh to get the show started off on a good note.
Right.
So this week I want you to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I noticed that, we're matching today. Did you do this on purpose?
Oh God. Oh my God. Oh God. Welcome to a conversation with Judy and Ryan right here on YouTube at takeabreathpod. Also, check us out on the Patreon. $5 a month gets you put on the ticker, just like, a lot of people in my family. But you know what? If you want to join the Patreon just on the free thing, we appreciate those members too. We also post stuff on TikTok from time to time. So, check us out there at TABPOD. All right. Let's get this out of the way. No, I did not plan on wearing the same thing as you today, okay? I should have known because you always wear a black shirt. I just wasn't thinking. I just wasn't thinking about it. This is just the shirt I wore to work today.
Well, it would have been twinning even more if you had like a V-neck instead of a crew neck shirt. So
yeah,
it's okay.
I'm glad that didn't happen. That would have. oh.
I was like, wait, let me go change into my crew neck tee real quick.
Can I just say real quick? I'm having like a real good hair day. I did not know.
I see it.
No one told me. Too. Don't take my moment, Judy. Okay, this is my moment. Okay, we're not talking about you right now.
Okay, my bad. It looks very defined and like not frizzy.
Right, thank you. Yeah. Yours also, it does look lovely, okay? That's why I had to like say something because I was afraid you were going to steal all my shine. But yes. All right, it's the beginning of the show. You know how we like to start up the show unless we have to do a second recording halfway through because, reasons, and then that just throws everything off. But you know how we like to start the shows off.
Get in the comments. That's
right. Get in the comments. This is a comment that we got recently, but it's on an older video on our YouTube channel. And before I read this, I want to warn everyone, the person's is like Creative Thoughts AI or something. So let's take everything with a grain of salt. But this was a comment on the video for the Lily Trad wife. Remember where she was talking a whole bunch of mess and dropped the N-bomb, right? Let's all remember that real quick, that she dropped the N-word in her video. And I'm I'm poisoning the well before you guys read this comment because I want you to know that in the video, the white lady dropped the N-bomb. And then this is the comment that we get.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
If the world told you that you couldn't say Christ is king and Christ is the only way to be saved, would you agree with that? Just because society claims that someone can't say a word doesn't mean anything. Don't be controlled because also society didn't agree to any of these rules. Literally, we did. We literally, as a society, agreed that that's a bad word. Okay.
Yeah, literally.
Some random people who control social media companies or news agencies decided to just make it unacceptable. One day, they changed the rules and decide what people are allowed and not allowed to say. And loser cucks they were doing so professional up until then. And loser cucks are the reason they have succeeded. But thankfully, backbones are finally being developed. And the resistance to this fake authority is growing. And common sense is being restored to the world. My guy. Hold on, what was it? My guy, Freedom Art AI. My guy, come on. Like... Just tell people you're a racist, okay? And I'm not even one of those people who likes to throw that out all the time because I do think that racism to a degree does get overused, or people are too sensitive and think it's racism or whatever, when it's just, let's say, ignorance or something like that, right?
Right.
But this is just clearly racist propaganda.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks for taking the time to copy and paste wherever you found that from.
From whichever chat GPT site you stole it from.
Yeah. Or whichever troll you stole it from the other person. Who knows? But, thanks for dropping a comment. Maybe boost up our engagement.
We do appreciate that. We're very thankful for all the engagement we can get. So Jesus. you guys find us on YouTube at TABPOD. Well, I don't think, you know what, real quick sidebar on getting engagement and everything. I have a bone to pick with our audience, because not one of ya rolled your window down and yelled to the car next to you, "Listen to a conversation with Judy and Ryan." That's all I'm asking for. I don't think it's too much. I really don't. Okay? All I'm asking you is to yell one time at a stranger, and then never see them again. You can't do that for me? After all the content that me and my co-host have given you? Come on.
Come on. At least one of y'all.
One of y'all. Please, come on. Okay. Going from just clear racism all up in our face, right? Getting teabagged with racism, to a tangentially racist question. Yeah. Judy, what you got for me?
Okay, first let me give the backstory on how I came up with this. On the Tiki Talks, there was a couple that are like big known influencers, I guess, but they became controversial, I should say. And a lot of people were like stitching videos of them and stuff like that. Supposedly, this has already been deemed incorrect information. But how it started was someone said that this couple was living on a plantation. And they are a BIPOC couple. And
Black indigenous person of color. For anyone.
Yes.
Look, I didn't learn about that until my mom went back to college. Okay? So that's not me trying to be a dick. That's me just being like, a lot of people don't know.
Yes. So they are people of color. And, the guy was like, "Oh, I'm fixing up my barn," and we turned it into a home gym. He's like, "I'm fixing up this guest house," and people were like, "Oh, that's slave quarters. That's where the slaves lived," and all of this. And they were just attacking this couple, right? And I mean, they didn't address it directly, but the husband, or they're not married, but the guy was like, "Yeah, I did my research. We asked the architects of, this county or whatever, like no slavery happened on this, like the land that he bought, blah, blah, blah." But anyways, all of that to say, Ryan, would you ever consider living on a plantation that is a known plantation?
Nah, I can't do like.
Right?
I'll put it this way, okay? I'm not saying I couldn't live on the land. I'd be mad as hell every time I walk near some cotton, but I'm not saying I couldn't live on the land. But as far as like the house that's already there and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not even trying to say that all those things need to be destroyed and forgotten about, because I'm a true proponent of, if we don't remember our history, we're doomed to repeat it, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not even saying that all that stuff needs to get destroyed. What I'm saying, though, is if I was like gifted that land, the only way I'm living on it is if I bulldoze whatever house was there before.
Yes.
House, guest house, whatever
Bars.
we call it, right? All that stuff. It's all getting bulldozed just because, like, and that's real quick. That's not me besmirching anyone who lives there, because this is just how I feel about it. If you live on a plantation, whether you're white, black, Asian, elfish, whatever, then it's, that's fine. As long as you live your life as a good person, I'm cool with that. But for me, I would just be feeling so much negativity, right? Anytime I looked at the barn or at a tree, maybe, that, like, you could see that that's where they would, like, string people up so they can get whooped or whatever. Like, and then just also looking at living quarters. I'll put it this way, okay? I'll put it like this. When I was in 3rd grade, I read a book. And I know that surprises you because I don't read, but I read a book. And it was called Night John. And it was essentially about this slave who had learned how to read and how he was teaching other slaves how to read. That book gave me nightmares. It's not like an adult book. It was on the approved 3rd grade reading list. Now, state of Nevada school system, so take it with a grain of salt. But, and it wasn't even, I'm not even going to sit here and say that anything in there was that bad, right? But just having to read and think about that's what people had to go through. And honestly, that's on the good end. And I don't even mean good like good for them. I mean good like compared to what we saw in like 12 Years a Slave. The stuff in that book is tame. That's what I'm saying. And even that made me feel, ugh. So, yeah, right. Like if I was then in the energy of the space where all this happened, Yeah,
I couldn't do it. No.
Now, let the realtor lie to me, though, and be like, no. He was one of the good ones. All right, the guy who owned this place, all the black people love this plantation. All right, they had fish cookout Fridays. All right, the head slave, right? He show up whatever he wanted. And Master didn't care. It was fine. Like let the realtor sell me on some good shit like that, though. Okay, now we talking a different story.
You're like, yes, sold. You'd be like, you know what? Back in the day, someone like me could not have owned this. So you know what?
Oh, hey, realtor, what's up with that tree? Looks like someone would get like hung up there. It's all worn out. Nah, that's where the tire swing was. They were having a good old time.
Oh man. Yeah. So I was like, wow. The one thing about that is that I realized people on the internet will really just go with something that someone that said, you know what, that sounds sort of true. We're just going to go on with it. And all these people, like, after you like one video, it's like the next few videos is all about the same video that you just like.
That's why I don't like anything. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
My algorithm hates me so much because it's nothing but like you literally have a 10-second moment with me to know if I like something or not, because it's 10 seconds or I'm just out of the video. That's why it just sends me the stuff that like it's kind of like just good for everyone, like a lot of clips from TV shows and stuff.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, right? We know his fat ass used to watch a lot of TV. Oh man.
So God, it's just, people are like, they're living on a plantation. They're being very well, I forget the word that they called them, but then it just comes out, they're like, look.
Probably call them very Uncle Tomish or something, but that's not look, man, it's not look, you know how hard it is to get a house. Fuck buying a house. You know how hard it is to rent a house nowadays for some people. All right. They got a whole bunch of land. Good for them. Like, good for them.
Yeah. Exactly. So,
all right. It's Judy. Yeah. I gotta call you out on something.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Because you told me that you had bought tickets to something.
I did.
And when I heard what you had bought tickets to, it just made me think how you were trying to recapture your youth. And
I am.
like,
you know what? Yes.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, come on, we're not. Because just real quick, tell the people what you're going to go to.
So I bought 1-day tickets to ACL, which is the Austin City Limits Festival, I think is what ACL stands for.
Okay.
But I'm going to see, so the main headliner is Doja Cat, but also T-Pain is going to be there. And I'm mainly there for T-Pain.
See, everything you just said in that sentence tells me, and this isn't just you, this is us, okay? We are too old to go to a music festival, okay? If you are not, if you're not going for the headliner, okay? Then, and I'm not talking about you fucking emo kids. No, I really love the. No, I'm talking about anyone over the age of 30, okay? But if you're not going for the headliner, you're too old. Okay. Also, you said this thing was an ACL. I almost got a knee injury just hearing the name of the fucking thing. Okay.
Yes.
Plus, look, here's what's gonna happen. Okay, you're gonna go and you're gonna be there for T-Pain, and some fucking child is gonna be next to you and be like, "Oh man, I love the oldies," and you're gonna be like, "Excuse me, sir, sir."
Excuse me, young man.
Yeah. And then they're gonna be like, excuse you, don't call me young man. I use they, them pronouns. And he's gonna be like, fuck, man. This is my life now.
Oh God. You know what? I can actually really picture that actual conversation happening because we are gonna be in Austin. And you know what? They are very progressive people down there. So you know what? If I get into a fight with the they them during the T-Pain set, then you know what happened, all right? This they them called T-Pain oldie.
Yeah. And you know, I'm not trying to yuck your yum because, you know, like I told you a couple weeks ago, I'm trying to be I want to be a concert guy now, right? Unfortunately, I'm also a poor, so I can't be a concert guy and a poor. It doesn't work that way. So the fact that you can,
a cheap lifestyle,
right? So the fact that you can go to the concert or the festival, I mean, I'm so happy for you. But yeah, no, music festivals. That's not, they not like us, okay?
Like, you know what? This is gonna be my first actual big music festival like this.
Are you serious? You waited till post 30 to go to your first festival? You didn't even hit up a Life is Beautiful?
I was poor back then. Okay.
You weren't that poor.
We're making decent
17 jobs, okay?
I was still poor. Look, the only time I ever wanted to go to Life is Beautiful was the first one that they had, the very first one, because the Killers was the main headliner, and I wanted to go see them.
What the fuck is it with people in the Killers? They're like an okay band.
Love them. They're so great.
I'm not saying you shouldn't love them. I'm not saying that they're bad. I just don't understand how the amount of filleting that this band gets. And I also understand they're a Las Vegas band, right? But oh my God, the amount of times I have heard people just drop to their knees about this band. Oh God.
Well, I've seen them in concert a couple times, and I took Keith a few years back when they were out here, and I was like, you know what, Keith, did they go back on concert and they come back? He's like, we're definitely gonna go. It's like, yes. So
yeah, you should go. I'm glad that they're making money through their musical endeavors, but people,
you're like, they're so mid.
Look, I'll put it this way, okay? Because I'm not trying to get into a whole Killers conversation. I can name I know one of their songs off the top of my head. And that's it. It's not even oh, I've heard a bunch of their songs a whole bunch of times and I can only remember one. No, I only hear one fucking song when it comes to the Killers, okay? And you know exactly what song I'm talking about because it's the only one that gets played. Anyone who's heard of the Killers before knows what song I'm talking about. So that's why, on the count of 3, I'm going to start from somebody and just go with me, okay? 1, 2, 3. Somebody told me that you had a girlfriend that looked like a boyfriend, right? It's the only one.
Honestly, that was not the song I was picturing you.
Really? What song were you thinking of? You might be an actual Killers fan.
Everybody knows Mr. Brightside.
Oh, I completely forgot. Okay, they got 2. They got 2. And they sound the same if I'm thinking about it. Mr. Brightside and whatever somebody told me or whatever the name of the song is.
It is somebody told me. Okay.
They said if you listen to the melodies, I'm Mr. Brightside. It's just the same shit. Okay? But you guys have fun at the Killers concert.
Whenever they come back.
Yeah, whenever they come.
Yeah, love that. Good.
I'm probably, like I said, I live in Vegas and they're from here. They do so many concerts out here because they're a local band. Like, that's probably also why I'm hating on them so much right now. You know, get your money, guys. Forget me.
It's okay. We forgive you.
Also, I think I'm a little sensitive to my age. Like, something happened to me the other day that made me feel like real just old and like also kind of gross. So that's why I'm probably fearing for you going to this music festival. So Asher had a play over the last weekend, right? And so I'll just tell you the whole story. So Asher has a play. So I get there and the EP is dog sitting for my mom, so we didn't go together. And at that point in time, Asher is still with his mom. So I get there by myself, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm here. I'm like 10 minutes early. I'm just there's no one else around. I'm just going to, hit my medicine real quick and really enjoy this, third grade production that we're about to watch, right? Because, like sometimes you need a little encouragement to get through these things. I'll just put it that way. So we all sit down, and about 4 minutes later, I just hear, "Hi, Asher's family," which once I found out who it was, I fully understood. But to just hear that out of nowhere freaks me the fuck out. I don't know why hearing "Hi, Asher's family," like that's just it's weird, right?
Yeah.
But then I turn around and it's Asher's teacher, his literal teacher this year. So it's like, well, of course that's how she's going to refer to us because she knows him way better than she knows us. She met us one time at a parent-teacher conference in which I probably told him to shut the fuck up more than one time in front of the teacher. So, yeah, I understand. I understand why that would happen. But now I come to realize that I am fully medicated and sitting in front of my son's teacher. How do I get myself into these things? Why didn't anyone tell me that the kid invited the teacher? Damn it. So now I'm like doing this where I'm like, I gotta stay prim and proper and everything like that, right?
Right.
And then the next thing that happens is someone comes and sits right next to me. And that's fine. Like, I'm not saying, oh, it shouldn't have been sitting next to me or whatever. But what I am saying is that when someone sits to me in a public venue, I do get very self-conscious about maybe encroaching on their space because I get that I'm a bigger guy, right? So I would do that. Right. So now what I'm doing is I'm doing this where I'm sitting straight up because I'm nervous and I'm paranoid about the teacher behind me. And I'm also trying to lean to my right side, right? So that I don't encroach on the person next to me. So in doing that, about 10 minutes into let's say the first play, because there's 2 plays. There's one for the real little kids, and then there was one for Asher's age group, right? So about 10 minutes into the little kids play, like my groin muscle on my left side starts feeling strained. Like I'm like, oh God, can I not hold this kind of position anymore? Am I losing it? Is this what LeBron feels like right now? He's not in his prime anymore. So now I'm like doing the thing where I'm like fidgeting and stuff. I was trying to be real nonchalant about it, but I'm like sitting up, still sitting up straight because the teacher, right? But like moving around, right. I'm throwing one leg underneath another one and trying to hook it at my ankle so that one leg can really just hold the other leg up and everything, And then eventually, the person sitting next to me, this goes into, let's say, the older kids had started, right? But then the person next to me ends up, right? But it didn't feel like she was going to the bathroom when her entire family scooted over one so that she wasn't going to have to sit next to me again. Now, I don't know. Maybe the whole family was just like, you know what? We don't want to have her hitting everybody in the knees on the way back.
On the back, yeah.
Right? But it didn't feel like that in the moment. Especially when the person who did sit next to me was like an 87-year-old grandma, right? But as she's sitting down, this old crotchety bitch hit me in the stomach with an elbow. She's UFC style. Okay? George St. Pierre cracked me in the gut, man.
It's all bone and skin.
Oh. And I don't think she did it on purpose because she did it a couple times, so I'm just telling myself she didn't do it on purpose. But the elbow combined with the scoot over, oh man, I felt like I was a marked man, okay?
Oh my God.
So now, here's my ultimate dilemma. So I get through all of that, right? And obviously what happened to me is what would happen to most people. I'm having an adrenaline dump because I've been on the fucking edge for an hour and I just one step closer to the edge and I'm about to break. So now I'm sitting there watching my son doing an awesome job. He's amazing. He was the only kid really who had a southern accent, because he was playing a cowboy. But now because of all this stuff that's been happening, I'm starting to get sleepy.
Oh my God.
I can't win. No, it's like there's like 5 minutes left of the play and I'm like, that's fine. I'm here. We're here. Oh God, am I encroaching on her territory? Oh God, am I standing up straight? Oh God, I'm awake. So that was Asher's play. It was a fun old time.
Wow. And it was just you? No EP?
No. The EP came, right? So it was me, the EP, and Asher's mom. Mm-hmm. But I got there on my own because the EP was dog sitting.
Okay. So wait, was the EP sitting next to you at least?
Yeah, that's the one who I was.
You kept leaning.
Right, that's who I was leaning on to the right on. I even told her, I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm not trying to take up your space, but I'm trying to be respectful of the person next to me. And she's like, oh, baby, don't worry about it. I love it when you're close to me. Yeah. Right? But yeah, no, that's who I'm leaning on. You know how fucking terrible I'd feel if I was just leaning on a rando?
I honestly thought that's how I was picturing it. I was like, oh man, I can only imagine how Ryan is if he's on the plane and he has the middle seat and with some strangers next to him.
So you know my big back self. If it's open seating and I'm by myself, I'm getting an aisle or a corner or something where I could, something like that. Yes, I told you the story about me on the plane, right?
You may have.
I'll tell this real quick. I'll tell it real quick. So I'm flying out to California. I want to say this is for my mom's wedding or something when she got married to my dad. Mm-hmm. I'm flying out there. And I'm at my largest at that point, right? Like I'm like 350, 360, something like that, right? The version of me you see now makes that version of Ryan look, that version of Ryan makes the version you see now look like a track star. I got there. All right, so I'm flying out there, and it's Southwest, right? So it's open seating. So I get on because your boy was a fucking paranoid fatty about it and was like, nope, I gotta clock in as soon as I can, right? I gotta check in as soon as I can, right? So I got enough to be able to get a nice little window seat, right? Mm-hmm. So I get in there, and then the first person who walks by, smart, right? Because he's like a regular Bill dude, and he sits on the aisle seat because he knows no one wants to sit next to my tubby ass, okay? Nobody wants that in their life, okay? So the entire plane is filling up, right? It's just to the point where I actually started getting hopeful. Okay, because there were so many people coming through and seeing the situation that I was like, we might actually get through this thing. We might have a free seat. This is gonna be awesome. And then someone who made that version of Ryan, 360 pounds, all 5'10" fat of him, he made that Ryan look like a track star, because the dude who walked on was probably 4'10", but he was also like 6'4", okay? So he's tall and he's big. He looks at me and I look at him, and we give each other the eyes real quick, right? We're like, no, don't do this, no. And I see him turn to the flight attendant. I see him turn to her and just, and I could read her lips on the back end, and she's like, no, I'm sorry, it's a full flight. And I just, in that moment, no! And he comes, and he sits down, and I'm pretty sure at that moment he was just like, I'm sorry, man. I was like, it's okay, bro. It's okay. And you know what we did? You know what our Big Mac selves did? We did straight at attention. We're doing everything we can for our tubby brother, okay? Because we're respectful. I know y'all skinny bitches don't want to sit next to us big backs. I understand it. But sometimes you get you a non-respectful one. Okay, I get that. I'm not trying to say everyone. Most of us know that we are big and are not trying to encroach on you. We just can't help it that we love snacks. God damn it.
So were you like that passenger who, put up the little armrest so you guys had a little more space?
No, I'm a guy. What the fuck?
Oh.
No,
I don't know.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not. That's probably like the most homophobic thing that I can think of about my personality is I'm not going to be sitting 2 inches away from a man I don't know with no kind of barrier, okay? I need a barrier. If
I feel like that barrier might just be like tugging at your side.
I will take the pain is what I'm saying.
Got it.
And look, I'm not sitting here, like, if I know the person, different story. Like, if me and Keith were on the plane or, anything like that. But if I don't know you, no, I need a barrier. I'm an introvert, motherfucker.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Meanwhile, our entire upper torsos are touching. I'm worried about fucking a half inch by my hip.
Can I ask a question? Follow up? Well, not follow up. Did you ever need to get one of those belt extenders? And how did you feel about
You're going to make me tell this story now. You're going to make me tell this story now.
I'm sorry if this is like encroaching on our other topics.
It is, but these are funny stories.
I'm just so curious because I always hear like plus size women on TikTok or whatever video platform I'm on. They're like, oh, there's some like some women are so ashamed to ask for it, but then they're like, girl, as soon as you get there, just ask them. Like, they're not gonna, like, they know they're gonna have it for you.
So I've never needed the seatbelt extender, but I came real close one time. Real close. It's Thanksgiving weekend. I was with my ex-wife at the time. We went and visited her family. And then just a little backstory on this. They would always play football. And, you know, I don't have a good brain. So to me, when I play football, I just play regardless of whether I'm on grass or turf or fucking asphalt, Ryan, you stupid. Okay, sorry. So I really had messed up my ankle, right, in that football game. Probably my knee too, who knows? But I really remember the ankle. So when we check Southwest again, so we check in and we got an emergency seat, or emergency row seat. So you get the extra 6 inches or whatever, right?
Right.
So like, I'm like, yes, thank God I can relax my ankle, blah, blah, blah. And I start trying to put the seatbelt on, and it's like, I guess I had too many sides at Thanksgiving dinner, because what once worked no longer does.
You're like, this worked earlier in the week.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
So I do everything, and then finally I just get lazy about it, and I do the thing that most fat people will know about if we've been on planes, in which we just lift our belly, we tuck it up underneath our belly, and we let the fat hang over the seatbelt, okay? And then you just hope and pray that you got you a lazy flight attendant that doesn't notice, right? So eventually the flight attendant comes over and he's like, sir, can I make sure your seatbelt is on? And the thing that screwed me on this one is I was on the aisle row. I might have gotten away with it if I was more inside of it.
Yeah,
but, you know, so he's like, sir, I need it. And I'm like, oh my God, is it not buckled? I didn't know. I'll fix it right now, right? So I'm like, now he's like standing there watching me though, right? Because I'm not fucking following for this again.
Right.
So I'm trying to buckle it, and he's like, "Well, sir, are you having some trouble?" I'm like, a little bit, but it's okay. Don't worry. He's like, well, if it's a problem, I can get you a seatbelt extender, but you'll have to switch seats because you can't have a seatbelt extender because it's extra things that could get caught up in an emergency. You can't have one if you're on an emergency row. Okay. So he's like, yes, I can get you the seatbelt extender, but you're going to have to move. And now, remember, I'm in this aisle with my busted ankle, right? The wife is next to me knowing that we got primo seating on Southwest.
Right. And
she just gives me this look like, you motherfucker, if you get me kicked out of this seat on this flight, right? If you make that happen right now, I'm gonna beat that ass, right? That's the look she gave me. Husbands all know that look, okay? So then I look at the flight attendant like I'm about to jump out of the plane, and I just say to him, like, give me a minute, I'm gonna make it work. And he's like, okay, and walks away. And I summoned all of the Herculean strength that I had, and I stretched that motherfucking seatbelt until the fibers were probably collapsing. And I click, and then I just we staying like this. We staying just like this, right? Until we took off. I pulled that like a fucking ripcord. Oh, God. Oh, it feels so much better now. Oh, my circulation's not being cut off at the waist anymore. Because what are they going to do at that point? What are they going to do?
True.
So, yeah, those are my, my fat, funny stories.
Oh, wow. Okay. Sorry for dragging that out of you.
That's okay. You know what? It's time for Am I... Wait, say that again?
I said I wouldn't want you to relive your time.
It's fine. As long as you guys laugh at my pain, it's fine. It's time for Am I Overreacting? All right. So this one is a two-parter, okay? Ooh. First, I'm going to read the message, and then I'm going to show you the picture related to it, okay?
Okay.
All right. Am I overreacting? In 2023, I, 23 female, lost my late boyfriend unexpectedly. It was devastating. He was a huge part of my life as we were childhood best friends and then dated for 3 years. After he passed, I got a meaningful tattoo in his memory. Now I'm dating someone new recently. Things have been going well overall, and he knew about my late boyfriend, but recently he actually saw the tattoo and took notice to it in proper detail. He got visibly upset. He said it made him feel disrespected and like I'm not over my ex. He basically implied I should remove or cover it up. I tried to explain that the grief and love aren't black and white, and that honoring the past doesn't mean I can't be present in a new relationship. But he just kept saying it's weird and made him feel second best. Am I overreacting for being hurt by this reaction? Or is it fair that he feels threatened by a piece of my past? All right, and then here's the picture. All right, so it's got the guy's name and some cursive. His name is Daniel, and that's probably the day he passed, which would be October 29th of 2023. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let you have this one, Judy.
I don't think she's overreacting for how hurt this dude is, or maybe I should say the dude is overreacting.
The dude is an asshole.
Yes, but also looking at that too, though, like, girl, that's kind of big.
it's on her wrist though, like
yeah, it takes up like that much of her wrist. She could have made it smaller. It could have been, I don't...
Okay,
like,
no. So you're right. It could have been smaller.
You know.
But if it's much smaller than that, it's definitely going to lose some detail, even though it's very simple already. And it will not last as long.
Interesting.
The thinner and smaller that they are, the harder it is for them to last. That's,
Yeah.
So,
but anyways, back to this man. Who the fuck do you think you are, bro? How many dates have we been on? Like, what?
Well, not only that, but like, you can't say that you feel disrespected about something that predates you.
Yes.
Like.
Yes.
Now, it's one thing if you're in the relationship and you're together for like 3-4 months and she's only wearing long sleeves the whole time and purposely hiding that from you.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
But outside of that, like, it doesn't matter if you didn't see it until now. Fucking, if you knew about it, then you cannot feel disrespected because she respected you enough to tell you.
Yes.
And guess what? Guess what, my dude? You are going to be second place to this dude, Daniel, okay? Like, and I'm not even saying that she can't have a happy and healthy relationship with someone else other than Daniel who passed away. What I am saying, though, is that it's the James Dean effect, right? When someone goes out at the apex of their powers, which in this case is the apex of their relationship, right? Where everything is just amazing and new and fun and we're fucking all the time in every room of the house and trying different things all the time. Like, all of that was awesome. And then he dies, right? Yeah, so you're only going to remember the super awesome stuff. That's why I say the James Dean effect, because he had like one really great movie and then died and everyone's like, oh, greatest actor ever. And don't get it twisted, he probably could have been, but we don't know. And so, yes, she's always going to think of this other guy as being like the perfect person. And anyone who comes after that will, to a degree, be second. That doesn't mean that she won't love you. That doesn't mean that she won't treat you the way you deserve to be treated. But it does mean that you're an asshole. By you, I mean the dude.
The dude, yes. Jesus. Wow. I'm annoyed by that. God damn. Like, bro, are you kidding me right now? Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, some people just be getting possessive and stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you found some stuff on Threads that you had wanted to talk to me about. I do have a tweet right here. I haven't read it, so
yes.
I'll put it up and then you go ahead and read it, and then I'll see whatever I say about it.
Okay.
All right.
It said, it disappeared. Oh, there we go. Okay. A child ripped up their allowance.
I'm already triggered. I'm already triggered.
His mom walked out of her room and saw this. What would you do if this was your child's behavior? Somebody's response said, keep it and give him a piece of it anytime he asks for money. But
oh my God.
I need to hear your take.
So just for anyone wondering, in this tweet, there is a picture of all of the torn up money, right? And you can clearly see that there was at least 1 5. It's probably 2 5s if I'm guessing. But
a 20, maybe a couple 20s on it.
There's 20 in there?
Yes.
Oh, I'm more triggered. Okay.
Yep.
I don't hate the commenter's idea of give it to him anytime I ask money, right?
Yeah.
How would I handle that?
Yeah.
Oh, then there's just no more money. Like, they're done. Unless it's for school or for a sport or something like that. Mm-hmm. No more money. If you want money, you go get a job now because, you know, you've obviously shown that you don't respect the money that I provide you.
Right.
Oh my God. And also, like, and I'm not a violent person. I don't believe in hitting my kid. Let him try to pull something like that. Oh my God. Look, we could have gotten some cheeseburgers and you just tore that up? Nah. You don't, nah.
Got me a little heated. I was like,
it'd be one of those things where, like, if I saw it, I don't know if I'd be able to stop myself from hitting him because it would be so reactionary. Like, I would see it and go, bah! Like, oh God, what happened? What? I didn't even realize. You know, it's either that or I have to do the thing where I go and walk it off because you don't want that kind of heat while you're laying down punishment. Oh God.
No.
Okay, and now I'm afraid because you had another thing to talk about with this. Now I'm really afraid.
Oh no, not with that one. I just wanted to get your take on your child. If he ever did that. Yeah.
Oh, no.
This was completely separate.
Asher knows better than that. Okay.
One day he's going to be like, Dad, you promised me $50. What is this, $5?
No, never. Rip. Nope. Dad knows about his money. Okay. He didn't promise you $50. Okay. You gotta look. I don't know shit about money, but I do know when I tell someone they can have some. Okay.
Okay, this other one was just let me pull it up. Okay, it says you help a friend move all day in the heat without complaining. A month later, you ask that friend for a quick ride to the airport, but they say it's too early. Do you bring it up or let it go?
Oh, I bring that shit up. For real? For real? You serious right now? You can't. Remember what? Oh my God. Oh my God. Like that's.
Exactly. Because that's what a real friend would do.
Right.
I would have said the same thing, like bitch, don't you remember we were like in the 100-degree weather, like hoping you move.
Yeah, and that doesn't even mean that they are full. Like, don't get it twisted. If they are your friend, then they should just suck it up for you at that point, especially if you've already done in turn for them. But there might be like a legitimate reason that they can't do it or whatever that day, right? Like maybe it's just too early and they work super late the night before, something like that, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't matter. They still have to know that this verbal ass whooping is coming. It's just.
So, I know, and I was reading like the response to them, or some of the people's responses, and one of them was like, I would just let it go, but then I would never, like, I would see them like that friend differently. And I'm like,
Like, okay, so
I don't know.
I'm not trying to make this a thing about race, okay?
Yeah.
But that's the difference between white people and people of color, right? And that's just, and look,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that people of color won't also do that. Like, if we have the verbal ass whooping and they still say no, I'm not saying that I wouldn't be like, all right, I'm not thinking about that person. No, I would definitely. I get that. But the difference is that one side is loud and the other side isn't as loud. And that's all that is, right?
Yep.
And actually, I shouldn't even say white people and people of color. What I should say is people who come from no money and people who come from lots of money, right? Because if you come from lots of money, then you're fuck it. I could buy a new friend. I don't give a shit, right? I don't even know why I actually asked this bitch. I could have Ubered, right? But if you don't come from money, and this encompanies all creeds, all ethnicities, that you're going to tell your poor friends how you made them feel.
Now looking at it, the person who said let it go and ditch that friend was Perez Hilton. So
the whitest Mexican in the world. Also, so much money.
Exactly.
Oh
man.
Okay. All right.
God, good stuff.
Yeah, it's real nice for him to say that. Meanwhile, not even an Uber. He has a private fucking driver.
Yeah.
All right. Pride Month is coming up, or are we in Pride Month? I can never tell.
It's next month. It's June. Actually,
June.
this month is Asian American Pacific Islander month. So shout out to my AAPI peeps. Okay.
Oh yeah, all those peeps that you've talked about so many times on this show before. You're a real fucking patriot for the Asian American Pacific Islanders, Judy. You freedom fighter, you.
You know what's crazy is I don't have any. Like in my circle,
You're the token Asian.
I am. Wow.
Oh God.
You know? Yeah.
See, this is the one great thing about being mixed is I can never be the token, right? Because no matter what, I'm still a bridge. I'm still like, even if it's just like you're the token black guy because the rest of us are white. No. I'm just bridging until we get another brother in here, okay?
Wow. Now I got to bring that up in my group chat. Thanks for none of y'all, wishing me a happy AAPI month.
Oh man, I can't wait for it's gonna go so terrible. Oh, it's gonna be the force of 1,000 train wrecks. Oh, take notes. All right, so
I will. Yeah.
Pride Month is coming up, okay? And Walmart has recently released a bunch of new shirts.
Yes, I love them.
And a woman on social media, I think she released on TikTok, but I found it on YouTube. Either way, she has a statement, let's say, about these shirts, okay?
Yes.
So let me do this. All right.
Not even gonna lie to y'all, Walmart really making me not even want to be gay no more.
Okay, so now we're seeing the shirt, and I'm not gonna lie, this is not a good look. It says "Homo estas." Like, that's not a good look.
No.
All right, so let's go to the next one. Okay, we got lesbian, but instead of the B-E being spelled, they have a picture of B. This one I don't hate. Maybe it's not. Oh, it's a B-I? My bad. I'm not one. I don't know how to spell it. Whatever.
Lesbian.
Yeah, exactly. That's how we say it all the time. Lima bean, pinto bean, lesbian. Okay? But this one isn't so bad, in my opinion. Now, I'm not the spokesperson for
right. I didn't think
lesbians.
It was bad either. Yeah.
But, okay. Cute? Check. Gay? Check. Ready to slay? Check.
Check.
So, I feel the same way about this one that I do the lesbian one. Like, this is annoying, but I'm old, right? So I could see this being okay for like a younger twink or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
A younger twink.
yeah. What is that? Is that derogatory now? Did I miss the memo on twink being derogatory? Can I not call a man otter either? Bear is bad now. What?
Otter? What'd you say?
An otter, yeah. There's otters, there's twinks, there's bears.
What's an otter?
Oh, go. Hey, everybody.
I don't want to
out there
Google
on
it. You
YouTube.
can tell
go
me.
Google.
You can tell
go
me.
Google what an otter is.
You can tell me off air. You can tell me.
No, you know
air.
what? We could. I could look it up now if you want. I mean, I don't know if we'll get copywritten or what, but
No, let's keep it moving.
okay. Next shirt says "Bye, babe, B.I." This is terrible. Okay, this is terrible. Even look at the. I don't know if you noticed, but even the AB right here kind of looks like a vagina. Like if you look at it, you could see right there. Remember, check us out at TABPOD on YouTube. If you look right there, you might see a vagina, like an inverted one.
We could just go ahead and skip Pride Month because.
Okay, so she wants to skip Pride Month now. Oh, homo estos, man. I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
I don't know how they got away with that one. Like when I first saw this video, I thought it was like the video where people see the fake Pixar movies. They're walking down the street. Have you seen that video?
No.
Okay, so like one of them is a dude a KKK hoodie, and it's called Clue, KLUX.
Oh my God.
Another one is called Blacked, and it's a bunch of black dudes behind a very small white girl. I'm gonna see if I can find that video for y'all, and we'll play it next week. Judy, you'll have to remind me though, because you know I forget. But I'll find that. It's a keeper, that one. But that's what I thought this was at first, and then I just kept watching. Like, no, this is real. No.
What's funny is that I saw a different version of that video. And I sent the lesbian one to my sister-in-law. And you know what? I sent it to her and her partner. And I was like, should I get this for y'all?
Yeah.
You know what? They loved it. Okay. They hearted my photo.
Okay. The lesbian one is the most acceptable of all. Okay.
I think so. Yeah.
How'd they feel about homo estos?
Oh, I didn't show them though.
Okay. Because like, I just feel like maybe I'm too sensitive about this, right? But I feel like saying homo is offensive. So whether it's, talking about, a play on another language or whatever, I feel like that is just a straight up offensive shirt.
I think so too.
Yeah.
That one's a little.
Yeah. The other ones are totally fine depending on whoever's wearing it. Like I said, the Bye Babe one.
No, gone.
The thing about that is it's not like Bye Babe is a bad slogan or expression to have. It's that the actual shirt itself is atrocious. That's what it's that. It's an ugly fucking shirt.
Yes. Yes, that's it. That's exactly it.
Okay. Because I had to tell the two stories about the plane, we were running real low on time. So we're gonna end the show on this one. Okay. Did you hear about the massive trade deal that we made today?
Is it a sports deal? Sports trade? What are we talking about?
Oh, no. I'm talking about the massive trade that our president has been talking about for a couple days now. Huge trade. Massively huge. Biggest trade that has ever been in existence. type stuff. Okay, I'm being hyperbolic. Okay, I'm not quoting him.
Yeah.
He did say it was a huge trade trade coming, or a trade plan, whatever. I'm getting off the topic. Either way.
Yeah. I did not hear about this, but yes,
it was announced today. Now, if you go into trade conversations with another country, just off the top of your head, Judy, excluding Canada and Mexico, because obviously they are our bordering neighbor, what countries would you want to reach out to?
China.
Okay, China. We got the trade war going with China though. So okay, maybe not China because everything's real tense, right?
Okay.
We took them to the airport and then we asked them if they could take us and they were like, nah. So, we beefing a little bit right now. But other than that.
Fair. Maybe our homies across the pond.
That's funny you say that. That's exactly who we got into a trade announcement with, a trade deal, I should say.
Okay,
Here, let me pull this up for you.
The Brits.
Yeah, so in this trade deal, President Trump said Britain agreed to increase market access for billions of dollars in American exports, including beef, ethanol, and other farm products under a new trade deal. But many of the details are still being worked out. The agreement would pare back tariffs that Mr. Trump imposed on British steel, aluminum, automobiles. So basically, the trade is we lower the tariffs on those things, and they say we're going to buy more of our stuff, essentially, right? That's the cliff notes of it, anyway.
Okay.
So first off, of all the countries to make a deal with, we made a deal with Britain, who, I don't know, do you remember this little thing called Brexit? So the entire European Union doesn't even like Britain. So Britain is just like, yo, we here. Whatever 75% tariffs is fine. Whatever you want. Once again, hyperbolic, right? But also the thing that we're getting from them, this is what makes it, let's just say funny to me, to not be completely disrespectful. Aluminum, which I don't know how much aluminum we have in America, right? So maybe that's the big one. But steel, I don't know about you, but we have a football team called the Pittsburgh Steelers because of all the steel that you can get in Pittsburgh, okay? And then, I'm sorry, who gives a fuck about British cars? Like, honestly, when's the last time anyone fucking was like, oh my God, that dude's driving a British car? Oh, McLaren, okay.
I was gonna say, can you name some British car companies for me?
No, I mean, the big one used to be Jaguar, but Jaguar was bought by Ford a while ago. Like I said, we got McLaren. I'm sure that there are some other ones, like an Aston Martin or something, most likely. But but who cares?
Yeah. Right.
Okay, I fully understand that some fucking rich billionaire is going to be sad that he has to spend $4.5 million on a car rather than $4 million on a car. I totally get that. But for Americans who are just here trying to get through our day to day, we don't give a fuck about British cars. Okay?
Right.
We care about American and Japanese. Okay, I get it. Kias, you got your place. You're Korean, I get that. You got your place. But really though, we care about American and Japanese. So
yes.
Oh man, I just love that the one country we made the trade deal with was someone who the entire European Union was like, get the fuck out. We don't like you either.
You know what? They're basically us, right? In a different continent. So.
They're European us. So yeah. I don't know how that. I don't know. Oh God, now I'm just sad. All right, we're gonna finish the show there. We're gonna just stop right there, okay? But you guys heard the gong, so that does mean that this show is over. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We appreciate it. Whether you listen, you watch it, however you ingest it, and like I say, every time, if you've only listened to one episode and nothing else, we still appreciate you because you help us on this journey. So, thank you guys for everything. Please feel free to get in our comments whenever you want.
I'm Brennan Lee Mulligan. This is my real voice reminding you as always to get in the comments. All
right. Yep. So just get up in there whenever you want at TABPOD. And we will talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.